we are going to talk about Dr. Ardain Isma's book, Last Spring Was Bittersweet. So this book is the sequel to Bittersweet Memories of Last Spring. So this book details the journey of a Haitian immigrant named Irvin, also known as Vinco. And we left off with the cliffhanger in the previous book where he has impregnated his girlfriend Michaela and asked her to marry him. Unfortunately, her family doesn't believe that this is the right course of action, and they're acting out of guilt and shame, and so they send her away to live with some relatives in Strasbourg, which is the border of France and Germany. And so we are left with Irvin, who is grieving the loss of his girlfriend Michaela, as well as his newly born son, Irvin Jr. And this is such a huge blow to him that he becomes listless. He just feels so demoralized and demotivated. And then on top of everything, he loses his job. And on top of it, his sister also loses her job. So they lose both their incomes and they have to scramble to try and make ends meet. And it's awful, y'all. And Irvin eventually does get a job because at this point they kind of have to take anything. So he does take anything, but it turns out that this anything job is anything but anything, and it affords him some really great contacts in the computer engineering world where he does actually then get his dream job, all because his boss at his anything job believes in him and helps him get the position, which is just such a magical and wonderful moment. And the
Well, I'm really impressed because your English in your novels has such subtlety, and you're able to both eviscerate the pompous, patronizing people so elegantly, and yet you also speak of love and honor and dignity and other crucial elements of your story with great subtlety and great flair. So you're, as I say, you handle English as a master.
That is about your mastery over the language. That is amazing. Considering the fact that you learned English later on in life and not, since childhood, because I still remember, I don't know if I will be quoting it right, but there is a sentence, it's in your first book where you write, more and more I was getting into the icy cave of sentimental ruthlessness. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, where does that language come from? Because oh my gosh! And then there's when Vinco talks about missing Michaela, and he would say that when I did not meet her for a long time, I felt like a withered hibiscus waiting to be watered. So that is such beautiful language.
The way that he's, as a young person, learning about what it means to be in a relationship with somebody and what that means when somebody says this or that, not knowing what that is himself for sure, and then trying to negotiate that with other teenagers or slightly older, let alone friendships, but as far as a relationship with somebody else, in that way, that part is, I think, most anybody can identify with, whether it's no matter what the relationship with, no matter what the love relationship with it or who it's with, it's just the feelings of misunderstanding, or the feelings thinking that you've been betrayed, or thinking that somebody's lied to you about something, or purposefully doing or trying to figure out when somebody is or isn't, when that person's trying to figure it out themselves and they maybe don't know. That you were able to portray so much of that so well with him and his thoughts and his feelings. And I really like it. Sometimes people say, well, is this story about you? And as though well, writers, you should be able to write about people and, not have yourself in it. And if you're a really good writer, then you should be able to write about anything.